What's up, guys? I have Mr. Jacob Dorn back on the line. He and I did an interview a couple weeks ago. His podcast is coming out this Friday. Now, as most of you guys know, anytime I have a guest coming up, I like to invite you all to ask any questions you might have for who I have on the show. And we had a few for Jacob the day that we did the interview, but I had a couple come in after the fact. So I wanted to honor those questions and, also get a chance to talk to Jake again here. So what's up, man? How you doing?
Oh, not too bad. Just getting up and getting all set up to leave for tour in the morning, tomorrow morning.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, we talked a couple weeks ago, and as you guys will hear in the podcast, he's getting ready for a tour with Sweet Ascent. And so yeah, in present time, you're getting ready to leave tomorrow. That's awesome, man. Where are you guys headed?
We're going straight to New Mexico, and then we're doing like a West Coast run. We're going to go like California up to Washington and then make our way home through Colorado areas.
Sweet. Well, good luck, man. If you guys, I think I probably asked you if you ever come through the Pennsylvania way or area. If you do, let me know. I'd love to come check you guys out. That'd be awesome.
Yep. I've got that written down somewhere.
Nice. All right, so let's get into these couple of questions here. It's from the same person, and I'll make sure to tag, I think, him in this post or whatever. So the Instagram handle name is, I'm gonna butcher this, but it's Chamika, I believe is the way we pronounce it. So Chamika, thank you for the questions, and let's get right into them. So he has a few. The first question he has is, how does it feel to have made yourself into the man you are today? And do you ever worry that your fame will only be here for a moment? Interesting.
As far as making myself into the man I am today, I feel pretty proud. I feel like I've paid a lot of dues and that I'm still paying dues to be where I am, because I have a few friends in bands that are always kind of like, we go home on tour or we go to their state or whatever, and they're in their own bands, and they'll be like, man, like, how do we get to where you are? And how do we get like the success that you've had, and like be able to like just be where you are and like the career your band is doing. And not even me, like all the guys in the band, we all kind of like, what fame? Like we're still living in a van, sleeping on floors at people's houses. Like we're not doing like hotel gigs and bus tours and stuff like that. We're still out here slumming it 5 years later.
Right.
But it's kind of like, it's little stuff like that makes you think back, like, wow, we are kind of doing a lot. Like we played Warped Tour 2 years in a row, where we've done a full US tour in a month. We're going to do another one, sometime in the next 2 years or something like that. And it's like, we're trying to keep ourselves on the road, and like, we just put out a full length record, which is something not a lot of bands do. And, 5 years later, still doing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's proud. And like, like I talk to like family members whenever I go home and see them, and they're always telling me like how proud they are that I like stuck with it. So it's cool. It's an elevating part of my life. As stressful as it can be.
Oh yeah. And you know what? Like we're all on the same journey. We're just at different parts of it. And I know it's easy to get a little discouraged, like, damn, how did he do it, or how did she do it? So, hey man, like I said, I'm assuming Chamika, I'm assuming you're a male, based on the picture here. So hey man, just keep chugging along, man. We're all on the same path, just different. Just a couple people are a few steps ahead. That's all.
Yep.
So his next question is pretty interesting. He's talking about as far as touring. You guys obviously are heading out on the road tomorrow. You've done lots of tours, and as you mentioned, you're still doing the van thing. So I know a lot of guys. We've all been there. We've all had that van. I had a van breakdown. So his question is, as far as touring goes, does the engine in the van like ever fail? Have you ever had to ask, kids at the show for jumper cables or any kind of random mishaps on the road where you found yourself kind of in a predicament?
We've never had to ask for jumper cables, but we've had far worse.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. We've had everything from van breaks down to brakes go out to windshields crack to overheating, and I could sit here all day and tell you problems we've had with vans. Since I've been in the band, we've gone through 4 different vehicles, and I think the band had like 2 or 3 before I joined as well. So it's been a process getting to continue getting to all these shows. But since I've been in the band, when I first joined the band, we had this like RV van conversion. I don't know. I really don't know what it was called. Like it wasn't like a Ford Econoline that everyone tours in, but it wasn't an RV, but it was kind of like a combination of the two.
Right.
And it was big. Like on the inside of it, there's like 2 like full size couches that fold down into like a king size bed that 4 people slept on. And it had like a refrigerator and a microwave and storage, but it was still small. Like you couldn't stand up in it or anything like that. But we had a lot of problems with that. Like the last 3 or 4 months that we had it, it was overheating constantly. So you drive 30 minutes, you overheat. You're on the side of the road for 10 minutes while it cools down. You drive 20 minutes, you overheat.
Yep.
This was on a summer tour, so immediately you're overheating just being out in the sunlight.
Yep. You probably had like 10 gallons of water in the truck just to fill it up every few miles.
And
yeah.
Then, after that, we did a Day of Warp tour 2 years ago, and we had to borrow a van because our van, I can't remember if it wouldn't turn over or what was wrong. Something was wrong with it, and like we couldn't get it to run. So we had to borrow a van. So we've borrowed vans before. We did a tour in an actual RV, and it was from our guitar player Bobby's boss. One of his work friends was like, "Hey, you can borrow my RV," and he made it seem like it was this like little like camper type thing, and this thing was a bus. It was like 2 queen beds and a couch and like a dining table and a kitchen and a full bathroom and closet space, and you could literally run from one end to the other. Like you could get a good sprint going before you had to stop.
Oh wow.
And so we did that tour, and that was the biggest thing we had ever driven. I don't even know how long it was, but it was damn near impossible to find parking for that thing. And we were pulling our trailer.
Jeez. I think, if I remember correctly, when we were talking in the original interview, you were talking about like how your current van is set up, how you guys, you kind of, weren't you saying how like you guys like built bunks into it, and like you would like sleep under one, and just how like the sleeping arrangements for your current situation?
The current van, the guy that we bought it from, we don't know what he was trying to do. He was trying to turn it into something. Yeah. And he ended up going through money problems, so he had to sell it. But he built this, like, I want to say he was trying to build a bunk in the back, because he put down all this wood flooring, and it just perfectly fit a full-size mattress over it. And so that's what we did day one. We just threw a mattress in it. We're like, all right, we're good to go, I guess. And then, yeah, Alex and I generally sleep on that. Bobby sleeps on the bench, and then Jordan sleeps underneath the bed.
Gotcha.
There's actually we did a Bus Invaders. It just got released like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and the whole thing is explained in there.
No kidding. Where can we find that?
You just go to YouTube and type in either Bus Invaders or Digital Tour Bus Sweet Ascent, and we'll pop up.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I want to check that out.
The whole current van situation.
Nice. Nice.
But,
Cool, man.
yeah, other than that, like, we've never had we never hit anything. We've never been in an accident. It's all just stuff that happens to us.
Yeah.
I'd probably say the worst one that I can think of, other than like near misses when you're like on a highway and someone gets too close to you or something like that. But the two worst ones were last summer. Alex was driving, and we were at a red light. I think we talked about this in another podcast. But we're at a red light, and he's just like, our brakes were bad at this point, so we're like, we have to get them changed when we get home. And he's just like, I'm just going to test the brakes real quick. And he goes to test the brakes at this red light, and he just goes straight to the floor, and you just hear the air pressure go out, like,
yeah.
Guys, the brakes are gone.
Oh,
and we're
no.
like, what? And they're like, at a red light, brakes all the way to the floor. The van starts rolling forward a little bit, so he throws it in park. And over the next 20 minutes, we had to go down this road at 20 miles an hour, and it started becoming a downhill. So you're going 20 miles an hour, 25, 30, 35, and we're like, oh, this is bad. This is really bad.
Yeah. Did you guys have did you have an e-brake in that?
We had an e-brake, but it's the foot.
Oh,
foot e-brake.
Yeah,
and so we're already going 30, 40 miles an hour downhill, and we're like, this isn't going to be good. This isn't going to end well. And luckily, the guy that was in front of us turned off, and the light that we were going through was green, and then we were kind of going up on a little bit of an incline. So we're like, okay, as soon as you start slowing down, pull over or turn off or something. And so we turn into this neighborhood, and we're kind of just coasting. And all four of us are in the front seat, making sure no one's coming on these other sides, and windows are down, and we're flagging people to stop or whatever. And we ended up turning around in a cul-de-sac, and we got into this outside shopping mall complex, and we were going 10 miles an hour, and Alex just slams the parking brake. We're like, oh, we are here, we are alive. So for the next 2 hours, we kind of contemplated what to do, because we hadn't. Luckily, it was an off day, so we were all right. And we were like, all right, we have to get to the show tomorrow, which is an hour away, to pay for fixing the van today. And so we're like, all right, well, it's 90 degrees out. We're sweating, we're stressed out, but we're alive, so we're all right with it. And so we call AAA or whoever we called for towing, and they came late. They came 3 hours later, so it was dark. And the guy was like, all right, I can take your trailer, I can take your van, I'm going to take you to this auto shop, and then you guys got to figure something out. And so we're like, we'll just do what we never do and get a hotel room for a night, because it's hot, it's sticky, we're all stressed and sweaty. We'll get a cheap hotel room and shower and get a good night's rest and figure it out tomorrow. And so we found a hotel that was roughly between where we were, where the auto shop was, and I think it was a 2 mile apart and everything. And the tow truck guy gets there and he's like, I can take 2 of you, and there's 4 of us. And so we're like, all right, so who's scooting? Did we talk about we use scooters on the last podcast?
I don't think so. I don't remember. I don't think so though.
If I didn't, we all bought scooters a summer or 2 ago on tour, because you have to get around somehow.
Right.
You can't always take the van with you. You're not going to take the van and trailer out of your nice parking spot outside the venue to go to Subway that's 3 blocks away. So we all bought scooters because none of us can skateboard.
Nice.
We all bought those $30 Razor scooters, and we all have them in the van. They all have their own names and everything. And so 2 of us hopped on scooters and scooted 2.5 miles to this hotel. And then the other 2 rode with the van and trailer on the tow truck to the repair shop, dropped it off, locked it all up, hopped on their scooters, rode 2.5-ish miles to the hotel, and then we booked a hotel room. And some friends of ours from out of town bought us some pizzas and drinks and stuff. So we weren't eating chips and Chex Mix out of our backpacks. They gave us a decent dinner for the night, and we just fell asleep.
I think a lot of people are like envious of, oh man, you get to go on the road and tour and all this stuff. But like you were saying, man, you pretty much paid or played your show the next day to pay for the repairs to the van. Like it's not all rainbows and butterflies, I guess.
It is a lot of fun, but it's, we're still, busting our asses out there. Like,
right.
Like when you're out there, it's like, this is what your job is. This is where your money comes from. When the band needs to eat or the band's going to pay for a meal, that's money that you have to play a show to make, or you have to sell that t-shirt to make sure everyone can get a burger or something that night, or your breaks go out and you have to pay a $720 fee. It's like, that's money that the band is coming out of. Like, and it all depends. Cause like, if your band isn't at the point where your band is paying for everything, then you're paying for it. But if your band is paying for it, then the band isn't paying you at the end of tour.
Right.
It is fun and games, but it's a livelihood. It is a job. I'm not this, like, I like to say like my life versus your vacation, but it's still work. It's still hard work.
Yep. How long is this run that you guys are going on? Did you say?
I think it's just over 2 weeks.
Nice.
I think it's like 13 days with driving and everything.
Cool, man.
That'll be cool. We got a couple friends on the West Coast, so it'll be a couple little family reunions and stuff like that.
There you go. Yeah, I had one van situation. We had a Chevy Astro. I had the Chevy Astro van. I'm sure you've seen those before. The old school, like brick red Chevy Astro van, and same thing.
Oh.
Overheating on the side of the highway on the way home from a show. Same thing.
Yeah.
And that was the end of that. Haven't had a van since, but
yeah, we haven't had any problems that I know. We have like some weird radiator issues, but nothing that's too like damaging or anything. Like we can get through a tour no problem. Sometimes you smell something kind of funky, but
could be just you guys.
Not necessarily vehicle related, but here's a funny backstory. Alex and I are fairly afraid of spiders.
Okay.
And when I say like afraid, I mean like Alex is absolutely terrified. And hang on one second.
I love you.
All right. So this one day, I think this was also last summer. A lot of things happened last summer. Our van lives at Bobby's when we're not on tour, and he kind of lives on like a farm, so he's got all kinds of weird bugs and critters out there. And I guess a spider decided to, make its little nest in our van. And we were driving down the highway. I don't know where we were. But like beautiful, gorgeous summer day and everything. And all of a sudden this spider just comes walking along the dash. And Alex and I are in the back seat, and we're both like clutching each other like, oh, this can't be good. And we were all making jokes about it. It's like, well, it's a good thing Jake and Alex aren't driving because we'd be dead right now. And the spider kept going around, and he'd go like down like an AC unit, and then he'd be gone, and we wouldn't see him. And then and Alex is much more petrified of him than I am. And so he's just like, we're gonna die. And both of him, like he and I are in the back, like tweeting, like, "Well, this is how Sweet Ascent ends."
So he's in there somewhere because he's crawling around through. Yeah.
And he pops out of the AC unit on the driver's side door, and Bobby is like fearless. He's basically not afraid of anything. And he sees it, and like all four of us are just like screaming at each other, like, "Kill the damn spider!" Bobby like just major karate chops the door, kills the spider, but like in the process he like jerks the wheel a little bit. So him jerking the wheel just a little bit was enough to make all four of us scream yet again. We're just like, this is terrifying. We cannot do this. And Alex is like, we need to bug bomb this van. I don't
Nice.
know. It's funny little stuff like that makes it like, all the hard trials you have to go through on the road hilarious. Is little stupid things like that, even if it's near death experiences.
Yep, absolutely. I love hearing those kind of stories. I always like to ask anybody that's a touring drummer, like, tell me some stories from the road, and I think the listeners enjoy that as well. So I appreciate you sharing that, man.
I've got tons. I could probably write a book.
You should. There you go.
Low budget DIY touring.
Yeah, right. Or make an ebook. That's my next venture. I want to create an ebook. I don't know on what yet, but I don't know. Everybody else seems to be making ebooks. I feel like I should make one too.
I've been thinking about them because they're cool. Like, I've been reading a lot of them on tour because it's so easy. You just hop on your computer and just start reading.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about like getting into like seeing what you have to do to make one and whatnot.
Yeah, there's a really cool website called Canva, Canva, canva.com. It's like a free photo editor. You can go on their website and you sign up for, doesn't cost anything. There are like paid features in it, but I've never had to use any of them. And it has like a bunch of different templates listed out. You can, if you want to make like a Facebook post, it'll give you like the exact dimensions. If you want to make an Instagram post, it'll give you the dimensions. If you want to make an ebook, if you want to make a menu for like a restaurant, it gives you the right sizes and a bunch of different like templates you could use. So I actually used it to make a press kit a couple of years ago, and they do have like an ebook template. So that's a good starting point.
I'll look into that. I'll maybe that'll be my write an ebook while I'm on tour or something like that.
Yeah, canva.com. Check it out.
Check that out.
Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on and answering these few questions here. You're the first person that I've had that's got questions after after the interview is done. So I thought it'd be cool to have you come on and also do like a little teaser for your upcoming episode this week. So
Right. That's cool.
yeah, man. All right. Well, have a good tour and look forward to your episode coming out this week, man.
Yeah, it should be cool. It'll probably be playing in the van because we listen to everything that we all do. Just make sure that we're not getting on each other's throats about it.
There you go. Nice. Cool, dude. Well, we'll talk again real soon.
Sounds good, man.
Awesome.
All right.